Hey there, sweethearts, it's Lulu, and as you all know, it's time for My Little Indie, where each week we talk to a fantastic figure from the wonderful, wonderful world of indie and unsigned music. And tonight we've got a wonderful special guest. She's previously been guest on Butterflies and Hurricanes, but that was a long time ago, so pleased to have her back on tonight. It's none other than fantastic singer-songwriter Sabrina Fallah. Awesome artist. When we last spoke to her, she just released her new EP, Kiss is a Killer, and we've been playing the hell out of that ever since, but she's since put out a whole bunch of new stuff, some of which you're going to hear tonight. But to start us straight off, here's the title track from Sabrina Fallah's awesome EP, Kiss is a Killer. Kiss is a Killer, the title track of the latest EP by tonight's special guest, Sabrina Fallah. And wouldn't you know, we just happen to be talking to her right now, so help me out with the applause, Sabrina, so I don't have to dub it in later.
All right, woo! Yeah!
Welcome. Fantastic. It's great to have you back on the show, Sabrina. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. It's always a pleasure. As I was just saying, always like to play your stuff, and I know the professor's a big fan of your stuff as well, so it's a real pleasure to have you back on. But for the benefit of listeners who didn't hear your previous appearance on the show, start off by telling us, what did you listen to growing up? What are your influences?
Well, when I first started, I was listening to Michelle Branch and Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan. And then as I grew more into music and I started growing up, then I heard Green Day's American Idiot album. And that's when I knew, okay, that's the style I want to do, which is rock. But I listen to all styles of music, but Green Day, Bon Jovi, and Billy Idol are my main influences for my music. They're all male bands.
Okay, and tell me, because it's something I always ask our guests, tell me, did you come from a musical family at all?
Well, I wouldn't say completely musical, but like it's only my cousin that plays instruments and used to be in a band. Mm-hmm. So really, it's not a musical family. I'm just the person that grew up liking music, and I decided to go into this business, and I'm still in it. So it's a tough one, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the journey.
Great. And what age were you when you decided to make a proper go of things? Was this when you were in your teens?
I was 14. Yeah, mm-hmm. Teens. Yeah, I was very young.
And how did you start out? Were you able to find people to play with, or was it something you were doing by yourself for a while?
Well, when I started, I did both. I did it solo. I tried to put a band together. The hardest thing is to put a band together, especially when like none of your friends are in music and you have to look for people who want to join you and do what you want to do, and it's not easy. So if I needed somebody, I would hire a session players to back me up, which is faster because they can learn your material in less than a day and just back you up, and then you pay them and they go. Or I'll do it solo, which I normally do. So.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Well, we're going to be talking about your early stuff that you did previous to your first EP. But before we do, first off, tell me a little bit about the track that we opened up with. That's the title track from your EP, Kiss is a Killer, because that's one of my favorites of yours.
Oh, thank you. Well, Kiss is a Killer, the album was actually recorded in Nashville, and I co-wrote all of the tracks on the album. And Kiss is a Killer I co-wrote with Bill DiLuigi. And it's interesting, when I walked into the room and I was talking to him, he put in front of me Kiss is a Killer, the title. And I knew from that minute, wow, that's the single, that's the hit, that's the title, that is the package of the album. But then he told me, I want you to figure out what you want the song to be about. So at the beginning, I was like, Kiss is a Killer? You mean the kiss kills people? Like, I didn't know what it meant at that time. And then he's like, no, Kiss is a Killer, meaning it's good, it attracts. I'm like, oh, okay. So what I decided to do was the theme behind it was thinking of the Grease theme with the guys with the leather jackets, trying to get the girls, trying to get the popular girls, trying to be cool, but they're bad boys. But, bad boys, girls like sometimes the bad boys. So that was the theme around it. And then, of course, the guy gives the best kisses, right? So that was what I got from it.
Okay, fantastic. You want to tell us a little bit about the next track that we're going to play, also a track from the EP Kiss is a Killer, a track entitled Stuck Up.
Oh, Stuck Up is an interesting one. When I was trying to write that one, get the ideas down before to send it to my co-writer, I was stuck. I was going through a bit of writer's block. And so I was just sitting in my room going, oh my God, what am I going to write about? And then all of a sudden, I just said, stuck up, because I'm stuck up. And that song is not relating to anybody specific. I just thought of it because everybody has gone through it and knows people who are stuck up. So I just wrote that song just as a fun song. But it's basically true. People who are stuck up think they are the best and they know everything. But really, it's just all in their head. It's all in their head. Yeah.
Well, here it is then, sweethearts. An ode to the terminally deluded by Sabrina Fallah, Stuck Up.
So far above it all and I'm down below. You act like you'll never fall, but what you don't know, that's what Humpty Dumpty thought. The till he got a face full of the ground that's coming at you now. You're so stuck up, don't know who you think you are, but grow up, that's enough. No, you're really not so far above. You're just stuck up. She says hi, but you pretend that you don't hear her. And that's why your one true friend is in the mirror. Fairest of them all, alone with all your power. I'll be at the ball while you spend the hours stuck up in your tower. You're so stuck up, don't know who you think you are, but grow up, that's enough. No, you're really not so far above. You're just stuck up. Why are you so mean? Why are you so rude? What makes you think you're better than me? What if you could see past your attitude? Why does anybody have to be stuck up? Don't know who you think you are, but grow up, that's enough. No, you're really not so far above. Stuck up, don't know who you think you are, but grow up, that's enough. No, you're really not so far above. You're just stuck up. You're just stuck up. You're just stuck up.
Stuck Up by tonight's special guest, Sabrina Fallah. Okay, now Sabrina, before we get on to talking about your fantastic EP, Kiss is a Killer, tell us about your self-titled debut, Sabrina Fallah. How did that come about?
So my first EP before Kiss is a Killer, I recorded in England with producer Stuart Epps. How I got there was pretty shocking. And I don't know what year, 2009, 2010, I went to college. And I was in my pre-music production program at the time. Now they have changed the whole program, but at that time it was called that. And then I was in the producer's class, and you could either talk to producers on the phone or Skype, or they would come into the class and talk to you. So Stuart was on Skype, on video, and we were on video as well. And the camera was somehow facing my direction. And when Stuart was asking us questions like who sings, who writes, who plays an instrument, I kept raising my hand. And for some reason, he asked my teacher, could I speak to the girl in the front row, which is me? And you know, there's 40 people in that class. So when he picked on me, I was like, oh my God. Anyway, then he asked me if I had a demo, if I'm recording, if I'm working on anything. And then we kept talking. And this is in front of the whole class, like everybody's hearing this. And then at the end, he told my teacher, please give her my email. And then a year later, I went to England. I had a very good backup band. They were all from different bands, but they put them together and I made a great album in England. It was cool.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that. How many tracks were on that?
5.
And what was the process in making that? How long were you out there?
A week, and I was very jet lagged for the first 2 days. Yeah, it took a week. I was there a week, and I didn't even have time to go out to even visit the area. I just woke up, studio, went to bed. Woke up, studio, went to bed. I didn't even see any places around England.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I need to go back there to travel, to visit. But it's beautiful. It was really pretty. It was beautiful there. And I had fish and chips. I had to have it. The first day I got there, I'm like, I need my fish and chips. I need the real deal here. the real
Oh.
deal.
I hope it wasn't a disappointment.
No. Actually, it tasted very different from here in Canada. Completely different. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the 5 tracks that you did over there, the EP, you'd already written them, of course. Were there people over there in the studio? Were they familiar with them, or did you have to do it from scratch, or what?
I had the songs already prepared as demo takes, and all the band had to do was hear the song, write the charts down because they wrote all the chords down in the way that they could read it, and then they were ready. By the time I got there, we did everything live off the floor, so I sang live with the band, and they were all so nice and patient and having fun that there was no stress. Everybody was having fun trying to enjoy the music. Nobody was stressing out over any of the takes or anything. So it was very soothing, smooth. You don't want to stress out in the studio, trust me, because once you stress out in the studio, it doesn't end up well. You want to take your time and enjoy the process.
Okay, well, moving on, I'm going to play 2 tracks now, back to back. First off, we're going to play a track from your EP, Kiss is a Killer, which we're very familiar with on this show. Played the absolute hell out of it. And it's a track entitled Didn't Last. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Didn't Last, I co-wrote that one too, and it's about a relationship that you're trying to make work out, but in the end, it didn't last. And you won't ever go back to try to make it work again. It was so bad that sometimes when you're in a relationship and it doesn't work out, you try again and you try to make it work. But this song is about when it ends, it ends. It didn't last. So it's a really sad song. It's a sad one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then, and then straight after that, this is interesting because this is a track that we haven't played before, and I understand it's a track that you've recorded since Kiss is a Killer, a track entitled Paradise Comes with a Price. Tell us all about that.
Oh, Paradise Comes with a Price is a song about depression. It's about helping people through depression, knowing that it's basically trying to tell the person who is dealing with mental illness not to give up on themselves and to keep working on it, because you can get through it. Now, sometimes you can't. It depends on the situation. But my song is basically trying to tell them to hold on, that everything's going to be okay.
Okay, well, here it is then, Sweethearts, by Sabrina Fallah from her EP Kiss is a Killer, Didn't Last, followed by Paradise Comes with a Price.
Release me, don't try to make this harder than it's gonna be. Release me, don't tell your hotel room. Bloodshot eyes looking to leave the gloom. Climbing up that stairway where you can almost taste the sky. Then dropping through the atmosphere, asking yourself why through tears. That needle in your vein feels like ice. On a night like this, you don't think twice. Paradise comes with a price. Too hard to listen to advice. Your heart and mind stuck in a vice. Paradise comes with a price. When you come crashing down, you can't let go and touch the ground. Is that what you really want, to leave this world right now? So stuck in hopelessness, deep in your own darknesses, you push yourself to the edge. Leave that note behind on a ledge. Paradise comes with a price. Too hard to listen to advice. Your heart and mind stuck in a vice. Paradise comes with a price. Maybe nobody will ever understand, but are you really willing to take that chance? Paradise comes with a price. Too hard to listen to advice. Your heart and mind stuck in a vice. Paradise comes with the price. Paradise comes with a price.
Didn't Last, followed by Paradise Comes with a Price by tonight's special guest, singer-songwriter Sabrina Fallah. Okay, Sabrina, talked a little bit about your first EP that you recorded over in London, but your second EP, Kiss is a Killer, which we've been playing tracks from tonight, you recorded that in Nashville. So tell me, how did you manage to make the jump from London to Nashville?
Well, that's where the front line comes in. So I recorded my first EP, Sabrina Fallah. Then after that one, I decided to release the front line because I was working on another project with a producer. But what happened was, when I released the front line, another opportunity came that I could go to Nashville. So I slowed down that process of working on that record because I was just working on something new. And then I went to Nashville, and then I'm like, wow, now this is what I need to do. Kiss is a Killer. So I kind of went back and forth a bit, but the front line is like a track that is like in between. So I just released it as a single. So that's what happened.
Okay. And then you got over to Nashville and started recording your EP, Kiss is a Killer. Tell us a little bit about all that.
Well, I recorded it with Kent Wells, Dolly Parton's producer.
Oh.
And I was actually in the booth where Dolly Parton was. I know, it's so exciting. I didn't get to meet her, but I was told she sometimes walks into the studio once in a while, but I didn't see her. But I was hoping, but no, I didn't. But I saw so many frames on the wall with all these different country. I was in the country studio, so I was like the unsigned rock singer in the signed country studio. So it was interesting. But wow, the sound, the studio room, it's amazing. Like, compared to all the studios I've been in, like, that was big studio. Like, that was the biggest studio I've gone into. So that was cool. Yeah, and with Kent, what we did was I wrote 5 songs with the songwriters, and then we had to pick 5, and then we had to find the key of the song for my voice, for my vocal range. So we did a lot of work before I went into to record, but it was fun, and I did not stress at all. It was so much fun. It was great. And also, being in Nashville, I got to visit Nashville. I went to downtown Nashville, Music City. I saw all the bars, all the bands play. It was beautiful. It was wonderful.
Okay, well, we're familiar with Kiss is a Killer, but when was that released and what have you gone on to do since then?
Kiss is a Killer was released, I think, June of 2016. What happened was, ever since then, I've been just writing and working on new stuff, performing here and there. I got some news. This year in January, I got signed to a label, and that's when everything came out. They wanted to re-release all of my songs that I've already put out on one album and call it my compilation CD, Sabrina Fallah, and add a new track to it. And that's when I added the song Everything at the bottom for the last track, and it's on iTunes, and I've been trying to push that track out more to get more listeners. And some people are telling me they're really enjoying the new sound because all of my songs have different feels. Yeah, different feels to it. So yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to play another couple of tracks by you now, back to back. And first off, we're going to play another track from Kiss is a Killer entitled Hurt, followed by the track recorded previous to Kiss is a Killer, a transition between your first and second EPs, entitled The Frontline. You've already told us a little bit about the making of that, but you want to tell us a little bit about the subject of these 2 tracks?
Okay, so Hurt is actually based on it's something that happened in my life, so it's close to my heart. And it's about basically being around someone that all they care about is themselves. So imagine having a friend that you want support from, but all they care about is their own thing. Like, they don't really care about anything else. So I had to walk away from that friendship. Actually, it was my best friend for many, many, many years, and I thought we would still be friends. But after a while, it's hard to, be around people like that.
No.
That all I wanted was some support. But anyway, so I had to walk away. So basically why I wrote this song is because I want people to know that they're not the only ones that go through that. Sometimes you have to walk away from your friends, and then you make new friends. Like I did. I made some new friends, I met some new people, and then my life turned around completely. My whole life changed when I made that step. Sometimes you have to make a step, do something for a reason in your life. So that was Hurt. And The Frontline, completely different. It's an upbeat song. I co-wrote it with Heather Meary from Vancouver, and we did it over Skype. And I told her I wanted a fun, upbeat song. I want a song that motivates people about achieving their dreams, going for their dreams, not giving up. Because during that time, I was struggling with friends and people around me, and they were getting in my way, and I wanted to go for my dream. Because when I want to do something, I want to go for it. I don't want anybody in my way. So the song is basically saying, if I'm going up and if you don't want to come with me, I'm still going. So I'm going to go and get to my goal. I'm going to make it my way. So basically, it's about not giving up. And sometimes in life, if you're trying to achieve something, you might lose people and you will make new friends, or you might lose everybody around you. You never know. But you just have to keep going because you are driven to make it in the end. So that's Frontline.
Fantastic. Okay, check this out then, sweethearts. By tonight's special guest, Sabrina Fallah, Hurt, followed by The Frontline.
sitting on this floor tonight, above the broken boulevard. Teardrops falling, midnight calling, holding tight to this guitar. Can't stop thinking about all the things you did to me, trying to find a melody that doesn't sound like misery. Hurt, hurt, it's only a feeling. Hurt, hurt, the pain can start the healing in my soul. Such a hard four-letter word. No one deserves this kind of hurt. When I needed someone, you were never there. You had to star in your own show. You didn't care about what I wanted, but I'm finally letting go of the hurt, hurt, it's only a feeling. Hurt, hurt, the pain can start the healing in my soul. Such a hard four-letter word. No one deserves this kind of hurt. Since the day I said goodbye, I'm better off without you. Sometimes the truth can hurt, hurt, hurt. The pain can start the healing in my soul. Such a hard four-letter word. No one deserves this kind of hurt.
I never wanted it to be this way.
Hurt, followed by The Frontline, by tonight's special guest, singer-songwriter Sabrina Fallah. Okay, now Sabrina, been talking about everything that you've done through your first EP, through your second EP, Kiss is a Killer, and also what you've been doing since then up to present. But tell us, now that you've got signed, I imagine you've got quite a bit planned, yeah?
Yes. And all I can say is I am in the process of writing some new songs. I can't say when they're going to be out, but I can tell you there is work happening. But that's all I can say right now. Good things are going to come, but I just don't want to say something and then if something doesn't come right away, I just don't want to give too much away right now. But I am working on some new songs and I'm still trying to figure out the theme and the direction I want to go. I feel like I want my sound to be the same, upbeat and fun, but I'm still trying to figure out if I want to go darker or harder sounding. I don't know. I like to try new things, so we're going to see what happens.
Fantastic. And any plans to perform out live much? Because you said that you performed live here and there, but hoping to be able to get a full-time band together at all?
Like I was talking to my label about it, because we're still trying to get the band going and stuff. Worst comes to worst, we're just going to hire session players because that's how a lot of the artists do it now. Because it's so hard to put a band together that will stay together. Sometimes it's just best to get somebody to fill in for a show and pay them and then give them the money from the show, because sometimes you don't have enough time to look and to test, to audition. It's a long process. So for me I try to hire people, but worst comes to worst, I'll do my best to teach the song myself, or I'll try to find somebody. But there's always somebody out there, but you just have to know where to find it. You just have to know a lot of people. That's why I stay close to my producers that I work with, because they know a lot of artists who like to fill in for other bands and artists. So there's always opportunity there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, fingers crossed with that. Yeah. Okay, well, getting on to the show yourself out moment, tell us, where can we find all your stuff online? I presume we can find it absolutely everywhere now that you're signed to this label and they've insisted on releasing everything.
Yes, actually, I am with my label, Dance Plan Records, which is based in Montreal. Actually, not even 2 hours away from me. They're pretty close to Ottawa, and I'm actually distributed through the Orchard. It's a company going through Sony Music Entertainment. So I have a kind of a major distribution, but it's through the Orchard. And I am international. I'm really international now because I'm going through a label. So I should be in every digital store. You should be able to find me all across the world now. But if you want to follow me on social media, you can go to my website, sabrinafallah.com, and at the top of the page, you will see my YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so forth. And you can follow me there. And I like to make friends and meet new people. I follow everybody.
Oh, great. You hear that, sweethearts? Get on over to Sabrina's Facebook and send her a friend request. She won't bite. Okay. Okay, well, gonna sign off in just a moment, Sabrina. But before we do, you want to tell us a little bit about the last track of yours that we're going to play. And this is something very new for listeners to Butterflies and Hurricanes. It's a new track that your label asked you to record so they could stick it on to the re-release of your first 2 EPs. And it's a track entitled Everything, right?
Yes, so Everything is it's a teenage anxiety song. So basically it's about a person who puts on a fake smile, pretending everything's okay, when inside everything isn't. In high school, when you go to school, you have to try to fit in, be popular, you deal with pressure, you go through a lot of stress, and then you come home and then you're just all tired. So it's basically going through things as a teenager. Like, I remember when I was a teenager, I was going through so much in my head. Like, I had to fit in and do this and do that, and there's all the popularity. It's crazy. In high school, you're so crazy. But that's how life is. So I'm sure a lot of the teenagers out there, or people who have gone through that will understand the song, definitely. It will relate to them.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Sabrina. Thanks so much for coming to join us.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, okay, no sweat. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Okay, and since we've come to the end of the show, just want to thank my co-host, Professor P Soup, for backing me up, same as he always does. Thanks also to Andrew Stiles, aka W, for My Life in the Bush of Static, and thanks also to our special guest, the recently signed singer-songwriter Sabrina Fallah. And we're going to finish off now with a brand new track by Sabrina, which you'll find out now along with the rest of her stuff, courtesy of, what's the name of the label?
Dance Plant Records.
Yeah, Dance Plant Records. This is Sabrina Fallah with a track entitled Everything. So till next week then, sweethearts, kind regards, mwah!